Hey, good morning, everybody. I think my voice came back a little bit more last night. I haven't had any peppermint today, so I'm gonna make a little bit of hot tea. I usually get up. I try to get up between like 4 and 4:30, but yesterday I played football, and I don't know why. I've been playing football the last 5, 6 weeks, but I played football yesterday too. It could have been just that I needed, maybe I was a little bit run down, who knows. But man, I got tore up yesterday. My thumb and my groin got hurt. I think that's it. But still, it was like, you feel alive when those things happen. And I love playing football. I love going down there and just being with all the guys, playing against the other teams, getting to meet the other people, just playing hard, physical ball. I really enjoy that. So it's a new league. It's a brand new league. It's down. Good morning, Roger. It's a new league that's down over at the old Ron Jaworski Veterans Field. But, rolling up there, it kind of makes me sad. There are a lot of things that we need to do. There are a lot of things that we need to do. And one of the things that I have planned that I want to do with everything are take back these towns, to take back all of the town parks, to take back all these schools and how they have been mismanaged, how they have been so poorly managed by people that were just in it for themselves for decades. Our towns, our children, our families, these people have one job only: to take care of the city grounds, to take care of our properties, to help us take care of our properties, to help take care of community property, parks, the highways, sidewalks. And these lights, these people can't even manage that. For decades, these people ascend to power and they let this stuff just go. So I walked into Veterans Field and I'm looking around and I'm going, oh my God, man, how ghetto and janky is this place? And what a shame. Because at one point in the history of this town in Lackawanna, you had somebody that built that place, that had a dream, that wanted it to be beautiful in Lackawanna. And that dream then was lost. Nobody cared for it. Nobody was a caretaker for it. Nobody was a steward for that property. They just let it go. And that's all management. When people are like, well, a football team is great because of players, or any sports team is great because of players, it's not. It all comes down to coaching. It all comes down to management. And when management lets these things fall through, everything's going to fall through, because the employees aren't going to be inspired and they're not going to be motivated. That leads me to one of the things that over the weekend here, I was communicating privately with a whole bunch of people about putting together a whole bunch of things. And, I realize that this is my calling. I've realized this for a long time. I've realized that, I was in a situation, a relationship situation that didn't allow me to do these things. I was kind of repressed. I was a little bit oppressed, in it. Believe it or not, me, my personality. But I think what ended up happening is that I cared for this person, but so I wanted to make sure that our relationship worked the best that it could. But in doing that, I wasn't able to spread my wings and fly and soar and do what it is that I'm able to do now, and able to do everything that I'm trying to do for everybody, to help in every single possible way that I can. So as much as it was a situation that I really enjoyed being in, and that, there was a whole lot of love and caring and affection in that relationship, I think that it was a big piece of the puzzle for me to be allowed to do everything that it is that I'm doing. Because had I remained in that situation, I would not have been able to fly and soar. And as a part of this, I've known that this has been my calling for a long time, but I had no mechanism, I had no vehicle, I had no outlet, I had no way of knowing what I could do. And I think that this is why we've all come together. I think that, our groups coming together the way that they are, but we're still falling a little bit short, guys. Like we really are. And I think the reason we all fall short is kind of like me. You don't believe that you can do anything. I was sitting and talking with my dad yesterday, and he's on the verge of retirement. He was post office, and then he went to Home Depot, and he's been working there, but he's been off because he's had some issues with his foot. And, here's a guy, very smart mind, very capable, brilliant guy. He could do so much for everybody. He could do so much for the movement. He could do so much for the Patriots, but he doesn't know how to do it. He's been in a life for decades, and he's military, he's Army. He was in the Army, and so he's got all kinds of training. He's got all kinds of training, honestly, that would help and be advantageous and beneficial. And you're probably a lot like he is. You're like, but I don't know what I can do. I don't know how people are going to follow me. And I think the important thing is just to start doing something, a little thing. And you hear me say that all the time, because once you start to do that little thing or that one thing, focus in on it, so many other things are going to start to fall into place. So many other things are going to start to come to light, and you're going to be like, oh my God, this is what I can do. If you truly believe that the awakening is coming, if you truly, and you know me, I'm a very faithful person. I am, and I pray and I believe and I have faith. I'm not a very religious person. That's the truth. But I do believe in God, and I do believe that things are happening for very specific and certain reasons. So, that being said, if you have to be a part of that. You can't just sit back and let somebody else do it. You can't just sit back and hope somebody else is going to be that person that is going to take it on. You have to be that person. Even if it means you're supporting somebody else, even if it means you're supporting somebody like a Dwayne Whitmer or a Dave DiPietro or a George Borrello or any number of candidates or politicians that are out there right now fighting, support them. Support one of the groups that are out there. Support somebody in these groups that are fighting so hard, that have ascended to a leadership role. We're not all leaders, guys, but you have your role. Good morning, Wen. We all have our role. We can all do something. And if you can come out of the shadows and believe in yourself and believe that you can do something, you will. And then you're going to be a part of this entire awakening that's happening, this entire reset, this entire transition from where we went to, how bad we let it get on our watch, to where it is that we want to go and where we want to be. And so many people reached out to me over the weekend after the rally on Saturday. And I'm trying to be so mindful and present and aware with them and whatever the issues are that they have, so that I can make sure that I'm responding to them, because I'm being looked at like me, like of all people, me. I'm being looked at like I am, an authority, that I have this information, that I have the resources. And guys, I'm just a guy. I'm just one dude out there trying to do anything that I can do to help support anybody that has any idea that they want to do. Like whether it's Gina, whether it's Gay, whether it's Dorothy, whether it's Ralph, whether it's Nancy, whether it's Taylor, whoever it is, all the different names that are out there, Mike and Desiree Segul, all the people that are out there fighting right now. And they have decided to push through that fear and that apprehension that they have to do something. My role, I feel, is kind of like what I developed in my personal life, in my private life with my business, and a nurture, which is to help people, give them the confidence, instill that belief in themselves, which is sometimes so simple, especially when people are, in that position, have been in that position, they just lose track of who they are and what they are and how they got to the point where they are. And I try to instill that confidence back into them, that belief in them, so that they say, yeah, you know what? I have all the tools to make this happen. I can do this. It's not a problem. So what I try to do with everything that I'm doing is I try to create leaders. I try to create leaders so that they can go out and do what they need to do to inspire. And over the weekend here, so many messages that I got from so many people from Rochester, who they want to start an organization. They're looking to me to help them get this organization started out there, which I'm going to need to turn to Lindsay. And Lindsay's going to have to help me with that. And I'm going to have to turn to some of you other guys as well to help me get them organized so that they can set out and do what they need to do. Good morning, Kathy. Good morning, Morgan. Good morning, Cheryl and Doug, if you're still there. But, I'm trying to make sure everyone believes that they can do this, that they can absolutely take the bull by the horns, whatever it is, and stay focused in on what it is that they want to accomplish and who they want to support. So people telling me over the weekend that I was inspiring to them and that, I can't remember who it was, and I'm sorry, I apologize. I just so many names rolling through my head over the weekend. But somebody wrote and said, you inspired me to act and do something. Guys, that's a gift. That's a beautiful thing. If anybody is inspired to do anything because of what I've said or what I've done, that makes me feel amazing. But I'm here to support you guys in every single way. I'm your tool. I'm your resource. And I will be there for you in every single way that I can. This week I've got a protest. Tina, I met her at the rally, and her son, I can't remember her child, I can't say, but her child is being abused by her ex. Her ex is an alcoholic, and the system is protecting this guy to be able to see him. Every time, she just got her child back yesterday with new bruises on him. And every day she cries that her child is over there with her ex. Now the law guardian, the judge, the courts, for whatever reason, they're allowing this individual to maintain contact with his child. And in doing so, a child I think is like 1 or 2 years old. But so she asked me if I would help her, and stand with her in front of Channel 4. And I gave her everything that she needed to do. I told her everything that she needed to do. I said that you need to be completely honest with me, completely forthcoming, completely open. I said, because I'm putting my name and my reputation on the line. And in order for me to do that, to support you, I have to have all the facts. So I need to know that there's a reason why they're doing that. CPS is on our side, which is really weird. Law enforcement has been on our side, but the court said, the judge in the case said that if she keeps her child, so I said, just keep your child from them. The police won't act on a family court order or visitation. And she said, yeah, but they already said, the judge said that they're going to hold me in contempt if I do that. So, she's in a really tough spot. And Tina's not alone, guys. There are so many other women and men out there just like Tina, fighting every single day to keep their child safe, to keep their children safe. So I'm going to meet with her. We're going to do that. I think we're going to meet today, I believe, and then on Thursday I'm going to go out with her to Channel 4. Anybody else that wants to go and wants to join us, I'm extending that invitation. I'll let you guys know the time. I believe Friday. So Thursday there's another Marching Patriots parade. That's taking place on Delaware and Sheridan, up in Kenmore. And that is going to be, I believe, at 6:30. And I believe it's going to last about an hour. It's by the Tops on the corner of Delaware and Sheridan there. I think Mighty Taco is close as well. So they've got that going on. And then on Friday, there is another human trafficking rally taking place in front of City Hall. I believe it's Friday. It may be Saturday. I'll get you that information. I did post it on my page. I can't remember who the sponsor is of that. It's not Lindsay and it's not me, but that's going on as well. And then Roselyn, I met Roselyn over at our rally on Saturday, and Roselyn said, "Hey Pete, I really want to do something, and I whatever I can do, I need to know what I can do." So I said, "Okay, great. Let's get together. We'll meet together. Spot Coffee. We're going to get together, strategize, formulate a plan." And guys, that is literally all it takes. Everybody on this page has a great job, has had a great job, is smart, is capable, has passion, and wants to do something. All it takes. Ask me if you want the catalyst and the push to be me to start it. Just ask me, and I'll help in every single way I can. Just like I've helped in every other group that has asked me to help. I try to be as responsible as I can, as open and honest as I can, and truthful and factual with all the information that I have. And I'm always trying to learn and grow and expand so that I can give you guys let me be the one who learns through mistakes and trial and error. And then let me start you up here instead of down here. And then that's your starting point to gain and acquire all of your knowledge and your experience and your wisdom so that you can then impart that and become the expert on that, and then impart that on people, and be somebody who inspires and motivates people to do what it is that you're fighting for. I would recommend you staying focused in one lane. That's the way we're really going to be productive, guys. That's the way we're really going to do this. When we take our tree that's rooted and then it's growing and getting stronger and stronger, and every single branch is doing something else, but one thing specifically to benefit the whole, the collective. If we start, doing all different kinds of things, that's what usually happens. And that's where we lose momentum. That's where we lose traction, and things don't work out the way that we wanted them to. So Antifa, because make no mistake, Antifa is hiding behind Black Lives Matter. They know they have been deemed a terrorist organization. I believe BLM has also been deemed, I don't think a terrorist organization, but something like it, a threat. Antifa is hiding behind BLM. The numbers show that. If you were in East Aurora, if you were at any rally, that big rally at Lafayette Square, Antifa is there to disrupt. It is 99.5% white people, angry white people. And, I played football down in Lackawanna. I played football in the city the other day, and I talked to my friends. They're like, "Yeah, man, that Black Lives Matter movement, man, I don't support it." They go, and if you talk to anybody who's black, they go, "Why do I need a white person to tell me what it is that I need and what I want? Speak for yourself. Like, I'm my own person. I'm my own person." They go, "White privilege." They go, "You know how many white friends I have that are just as impoverished as I am? They've been kept down as long as I have." They go, "White privilege is nonsense. It's an absolute joke meant to divide, just like Black Lives Matter is." They go, "I support what," literally yesterday, conversation between a couple of the people on my football team, and there were a few individuals on one side of the argument and a few individuals on the other side of the argument, just like anybody would have. And some of the individuals on the side of the argument said, "Look at, if you don't," because everybody was like, "Lackawanna's bad, they're going to do this, they're going to impound your vehicle." And the one guy said, "Just don't break the law. Have your stuff in order. Do what you're supposed to do." And he goes, "It's not going to be a problem." And a couple other people were on his side. And, some other people, and he was making his point. The other people were they were basically saying, And again, you guys know my position on police corruption and police abuse of power. You know that. And you know how I've been victimized. So, I definitely supported the other side of the argument as well, because I know that there's some truth to that. Whether ethnicity or color of skin plays a role or factor into it, I don't know. But I know a lot of my friends that are white and a lot of my friends that are black that have been victimized by it, and Hispanic that have all been victimized by it. I think, and my one buddy made a great point. He's like, I don't support Black Lives Matter. He goes, if you got your stuff together, if it's the way it's supposed to be, if you're going by the law, they're not going to pull you over. They're not going to pull you over just because of the color of your skin. That was his argument. So Antifa is using Black Lives Matter as a shield. So anybody who is watching this, please share this to everybody in East Aurora and anybody in any other town that we've discovered that Antifa, because it's not Black Lives Matter, it's Antifa. Antifa is having another rally, a protest. Let's not call it a protest, let's call it a terror act in East Aurora, September 12th. Guys, get this information to East Aurora PD. The way other towns were able to completely stop it was they intervened before these people could organize, before they could even park their cars. They said, get out. And what else they did is they blocked the areas that were open to parking. Now, apparently Riley's is open to parking. I saw that. It's a community area. The ice rink is there. Block that off from parking. Don't allow them to park their vehicles anywhere near it. And when you start seeing these people start to park and organize, you come out and you say, you're not able to park there. This is only for people who are patroning it. Why didn't East Aurora Police do that? Why didn't they do that? Why? They knew it was coming. East Aurora Police did a great job. Don't get me wrong. But what happened was they allowed these people to gain momentum and gain steam. You guys have heard me talk about this in the past when all the other riots and all the other nonsense were taking place. You need to stop it before it even begins. Get them to go home. You tell them if they get out of their vehicle will be towed because it's a private lot and they're not allowed to park on that lot. You put barricades, you put strings, you put cones up so that they can't park. These were some of the tactics and the techniques that I was telling you guys about months ago. Utilize those. This way, now you're preventing more and more and more people. Now the good people, because there were probably about, I would say roughly 80% of the people that were children and well-intentioned individuals that showed up. Those 80% of people aren't going to show up because they know police are going to say, we're going to tow your car. Put that out there. Let them know that if you park your car in a private lot, it will be towed. Let them know that if you are going to organize for purposes of tying up traffic or shutting down businesses, that you will be detained by law enforcement immediately. If you occupy our street, you will be detained immediately. East Aurora Police Department should be putting this information out, and every other town should be putting this information out immediately. You have a right to protest. You absolutely have a right to protest. You do not have a right to infringe upon and take away other people's rights to travel, to freedom, to go about their daily business. You do not have that right to do that. And if police would get out in front of this, it would stop it. It would have stopped it in East Aurora. It would have absolutely stopped it. Then what needs to happen is that those members of Antifa that do show up with their masks, with their clothes on and everything else, they don't know who did the Black Lives Matter or who spray painted it and did everything else like that. But some of the same exact individuals will be there. Arrest them. Charge them with vandalism. Make them think 3 times, 4 times before they ever decide to come back into your town. Arrest them for disturbing the peace. Arrest them for criminal mischief. Arrest them for blocking traffic, for obstructing traffic. It's easy. It's simple. Do not cower to these people. Do not be afraid of these people. Now, what needs to happen is September 12th is the alleged date that it's going to happen again. What needs to happen, guys, is that every single group needs to be called to action right now. Every single Patriots group, the Second Amendment group. Okay, guys, you know what? I'm going to call you guys out right now. I'm calling the Second Amendment guys out right now. Every single one of you. You want to know why? Because I'm sick and tired of seeing you guys say, we're waiting. We're waiting for our opportunity. We're waiting for the right time to come out. Bullshit. I call bullshit on that. Do you know how many guys you guys have and women that you have that you're sitting inside your homes cowering? Why? Are you cowards or are you patriots? Are you complacent and compliant, or are you going to fight? Do you have the courage to stand up and fight? I was out there by myself with law enforcement. I was out there by myself with law enforcement, walking with 100 people, went up to them and spoke to them. That's what I did. And I applaud the patriots that were there. But guys, they were in their 60s and they were in their late 50s. Come on. Where the hell are the Second Amendment guys? Where the hell are the ex-military guys? Where are the militia people? Where are you guys? Where are the 3%ers? Get your asses out to every single one of these events. And don't be combative. Don't be ready to create a scene. You don't have to. Be preventative. Just like I'm telling the police to be preventative. That's how we stop this. Our numbers show. Guess what? They see me as one person come out, and they see Mike Segul and Desiree Segul coming out. They see 3 people that are willing to stand up against them. What do you think that does? It just empowers them. That just emboldens them. It gives them even more courage to do it again. Share this with every single one of your Second Amendment guys that you know. Every single one of your Second Amendment women and ex-military. This whole excuse that I see, we're waiting, we're biding our time. Bullshit. When is your time? Our elderly have been killed in elderly care facilities. Cuomo's on TV saying that he is the government. You have your governments being weaponized against your small business owners, shutting them down. Unemployment going up over 15% in New York State. While other states are flourishing at this point, our state is dying. Our people are dying. When is the time that you're going to stand up? When will it be enough to get you to do something? What, when you finally get to shoot something? Stop. I mean, when it comes to that, great that you'll be able to do that and ready. But will you? Will you really be ready to shoot? Will you really be ready to kill? Because right now at this point, you can't even come out and support a bunch of 60 and 70-year-olds to give them the support that they need. You're sitting at home. We need as many people to come out in every single town all the time. If you believe in this movement, get your ass out of your chair. Get your ass from out in front of the TV, the video game on the phone, social media. You know where these events are. You know my page. You know that these events are posted on my page. You know the Marching Patriots has their page. You know Restore Constitutional Freedom has their page. Go to those pages. You know, Devin's page, Buffalonians against, mandatory quarantine, excessive quarantine. You know all the pages, guys. And if you don't, go look them up. Find the events. Ask me, I'll find out. We need numbers at these events. Antifa are a bunch of cowards. You know what? And we're going to extend it over to Black Lives Matter at this point, because Black Lives Matter, they're a joke. Their organization is an absolute joke. You want to go into a town, You want to be funded by Soros. You want to have paid protesters from areas that aren't even in that town making accusations of people, good officers, good townspeople who have never been racist in their life. They call me a racist. Just a joke. And anyways, you have these people come into these towns and then they want to spray paint and vandalize and terrorize people. Good people who are out on a Saturday ready to enjoy themselves. They've been in lockdown for 6 months. 6 months they've been in lockdown, and they want to go out on a beautiful Saturday night and they want to enjoy their dinner, and they don't want to have to deal with your nonsense. Criminal justice reform is a real thing. Police abuse of power is a real thing. Police corruption is a real thing. The need to be retrained is a real thing. The need to have every arrest reviewed by an independent agency before it even goes to the DA to recognize the validity, so that the socioeconomic disparity that's out there, if you're poor, you're just going to get arrested, that needs to be put in place. I'm tired of these politicians and these big attorneys firms that are out there that they think they're too big and they're too elite. Nobody can touch them. They're untouchable. I had an attorney's firm that was out of Rochester. They tried to extort money out of me. It was illegal. I was told I couldn't take action against them. How is that possible? If I did the same thing to them and they had all the tools and resources to know that they couldn't extort the money from me, they could go after me. But if they do it to me, we can't go after them. It's absolutely absurd, and it absolutely needs to change. So when we're talking about everything that's going on right now, guys, what it is it's all about control. There's yet another treatment for COVID now. It's down in Australia, 100% effective. It cost, I think they said, 32 cents to administer the treatment. It's pills. It's a pill that's been around for a long time. In 48 hours, in even the most severe cases, this treatment has been working. Look it up, guys. Look up what the pill's name is. And honestly, guys, one of the branches that we're going to have to start doing and implementing is getting all of these treatments for COVID out there. We're going to have to do that. So whoever wants to take that on, please let me know, because we need to inform and educate every single person in this country which treatments, prevention, and then once you have it, to reduce and eliminate symptoms. Somebody needs to take that on. And we need to get that information out to people. This treatment costs 32 cents. In 48 hours, people are cured of all COVID. COVID is gone. Look it up. I had somebody share it with me. Now, to add that to all of the other treatments that we know that are out there right now. A couple of dozen treatments that work, preventative, and then once you have COVID, to treat all the symptoms and to mitigate them and to eliminate them. So getting back to this, what this is all about disruption. That's what the elites do. They pay the mindless, the weak-minded, to disrupt everything. And you say, Pete, why do they do that? Well, it's a game to them. I mean, to be perfectly honest with you, it's a huge game. And they don't want people to be happy. The people who are these far leftist, Antifa, if you do a mental screening on any one of them, they all fit a very, very specific mindset, and tendencies. And what that means is that they are mentally ill. They are mentally deranged. They are hysterical. They are incapable of seeing truth for what it is. They are incapable of handling it the way that they need to handle it, in the way that they need to handle it. Because they are so angry and they haven't been able to deal with and come to terms with whatever emotional and mental and psychological struggles that they are dealing with. And, Cuomo is a perfect example. This guy is a control freak. I mean, right now, whatever the syndrome is that he has, the Napoleonic syndrome, whatever they want to call it, it is fueling him every single day to be able to kill whoever he wants, to be able to silence whoever he wants, to be able to shut down whichever business that he wants. And he's done that. He has personally attacked small businesses and small restaurants because they have opposed him. And that should never, ever, ever be the case. Ever be the case. He is out there saying, I am government. That's not, like Second Amendment people, that's tyranny, that's fascism, that's dictatorship. You have the guy doing and saying and maintaining everything that it is that you're supposedly vehemently opposed to. Constitutionalists. You're everything, but where are you? What are you doing? I don't see you at any of the protests down in Albany. I don't see you at any of the protests that take place in the city. Why? And I'll tell you why. Because you want to talk a big game, but you don't want to put up. And you know the old adage. I don't need to say it. Elections are coming. Elections are coming in a couple of months. Gina Kay and I, it's on my list to do today. We're going to get together and strategize how we can get the message out about all the candidates that we support so that you guys can get out to the polls. Guys, stop believing that their numbers are too big and our numbers are too small and we're not going to make a difference. Stop believing that. Because I can guarantee you the way that they win. The way that they win is by you not voting. The way that they win is for you to believe that it's too big a machine. Now, Stefan Mihailou, again, you have the Republican Party weaponized against a candidate, which is a complete joke to me. He was accused of campaign finance crimes. Whatever it was, who knows? But the Republican Party blew him in so they could support Chris Jacobs, which Chris Jacobs is an extremely weak candidate. And, that's what the Republican Party represents right now. That's what they represent. However, we have to inform you guys and we have to educate ourselves on who the best candidates are. Whoever the incumbent is, we know we need to get rid of them. So we need to educate ourselves and align together in a unified and uniform way, in an educated way, after we educate one another on what that candidate stands for, so that we can pick the best of the worst to at least give ourselves a chance, to at least start to take it back. And that's something else that we need to do at this point. That's something else that I need to have people for, and we all need to have people for, are to research every single one of these candidates, their voting records, what they stand for, what they're saying they're going to come in for, so we can support them. And then we need to promote these candidates so that those candidates get those votes. That's how we make the difference, guys. You can't tell me that with a state of 19 million people that is pretty much 50-50, and then with all the liberals and Democrats and moderates right now and independents that have seen what Cuomo has done, what they have seen their local governments have done, what they have seen their county executives have done, what they have seen their health departments have done to them. Don't tell me for a second we can't take it back. Don't tell me for a second that your vote doesn't count. The only way it doesn't count is if you don't vote. The only way it doesn't count is if you don't educate yourself. The only way it doesn't count is if you don't say, hey, let's all get together and let's make our vote count. Let's get out there and vote. Let's research, inform ourselves, and educate ourselves. And then let's educate everybody else. Cuomo is not giving it back. He's not. 6 months more now of tyranny and dictatorship and fascism that they have shut our state down. How many people do you know that have had COVID? I don't know one person that's had COVID. Not one person that's died from COVID. I know somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody that knew somebody that had COVID or died from it or allegedly died from it. How many people do you know that have been affected by this lockdown? Their business is shut down. Their jobs lost. They're furloughed. They're laid off. They can't go out and they can't get a job. They're worried about paying the bills on their house. Mental health issues that they've got. Health issues as an extension of that and as a result of that. How many people do you know that that's affected? I can't even count how many people I've met that that's affected. This should have never, ever, ever happened. And every single person involved needs to be held criminally accountable. Every attorney, every politician, every government employee, health department official, every single one of them needs to be held accountable for this lie, this fraud. What they have done criminally to each one of us, deprived us of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, are just our basic fundamental rights, our inalienable right to go out and work and provide a living for our family. That's what they've done. But they have the judges, they have the big attorneys' offices, they have the politicians, they create the laws to protect and insulate themselves. That all needs to change. I went pretty long today, guys. I do appreciate y'all listening. Like I said, there's a couple. I'm going to be out there with Tina. It's her birthday today, actually, so I got to wish her happy birthday. But I'm going to get together with Rosalind, and I know that on Wednesday, I think Thursday is Tina, and then I think Friday is that big march. 4 to 7, I want to say. That's a long time for a march. I got Lindsay, I had to tell her that too, but I think ours went a little bit longer than normally. It was a great group of people though. It really was on Saturday. But 3 hours is a long time. People get spent, but especially on a Friday or Saturday, I think trying to keep it to like a couple hours is usually pretty good. But sometimes 3 hours works. But if people want to stay, then that's great. They get a chance to talk and meet one another after, which you guys know I'm a huge proponent, huge advocate of that. Enjoy your day, guys. If anything does happen, make me aware. I'll keep you guys posted on any new developments that are happening. If I need to come back on, I will. Otherwise, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Love you. Bye.